Hallo, ich bin's, Robin, Deutschlehrer mit Core Languages, and look at my cool flag. It's half an American flag and half a German flag put together in one flag. You could say this is not a regular flag. It's an irregular flag. And you know what else can be regular and irregular? Verbs. Now you might wonder, how does Robin come up with these amazing transitions? But let's focus. There can be regular verbs and irregular verbs. A regular verb in English, for example, is a verb that follows regular conjugation. For example, the verb to cook. I cook, you cook, he, she, it cooks, and so on. And then in the past tense, it's simply I cooked, you cooked, and so on. An irregular verb would be to go. I go, you go, he, she, it goes, but then it changes to I went. Well, in German, irregular verbs already show irregularities in the present tense. For example, the verb schlafen, to sleep. Ich schlafe, I sleep, but then it's not du schlafst, but du schläfst. We need to understand how these irregular verbs change the conjugation in the present tense in order to use them correctly in a sentence. And this is what I want to show you today. So without further ado, los geht's und viel Spaß beim Deutschlernen. Irregular verbs in the present tense. Some verbs in German conjugate irregularly in the present tense. A common irregularity is a stem vowel change. Remember that for conjugation we need a subject, and then we remove the infinitive ending en, or just the n, from the verb, and add the appropriate verb ending depending on who the subject is, e, st, t, or en. The verb schlafen, for example, is an example of an irregular verb because it has a vowel change. Here's how it conjugates. Ich schlafe. Du schläfst. The A changed to an Ä. Sie schlafen, which is the formal you singular, but then sie, es schläft. The A changed to an Ä. Wir schlafen, ihr schlaft, sie schlafen, and sie schlafen. The verbs laufen, geben, und sehen are three common examples of verbs that have a stem vowel change. Laufen means to run, geben, to give, and sehen, to see. There are other irregular verbs that follow a regular conjugation in the present tense, but have irregular conjugation in other tenses. For example, kommen, gehen, and finden. Here's the conjugation for the verb laufen. Pay attention to the changes in the spelling. Ich laufe, du läufst. The A changed to an Ä. Sie, es läuft. Sie laufen, wir laufen, ihr lauft, sie laufen. Geben. Ich gebe, du gibst. Sie, es gibt. Sie geben. Wir geben, ihr gebt, sie geben. Sehen. Ich sehe, du siehst. The E changed to IE. Sie, es sieht. Sie sehen. Wir sehen, ihr seht, sie sehen. Another example of an irregular verb in the present tense is the verb essen, to eat. In the example of essen, the vowel that changes is the first letter of the verb, and the conjugation looks like this. Ich esse, du isst. The E changed to an I. Sie essen, but sie es isst. Wir essen, ihr esst, sie essen, and sie essen. There are also some verbs that could be considered very irregular because the changes that take place are significant. For example, the verbs wissen, which is to know a fact or to know something, nehmen, to take, and halten, to stop or to halt. Feel free to repeat after me. Ich weiß. Here, the vowel change already happens in the first person. Du weißt. Sie es weiß. Sie wissen. Wir wissen. Ihr wisst. Sie wissen. Nehmen. Ich nehme. Here, the first person is regular, but du nimmst not only has a vowel change, but a letter change. We added an extra M and removed the H. Du nimmst, sie es nimmt. Sie nehmen, wir nehmen, ihr nehmt, and sie nehmen. Halten. Ich halte. Du hältst. Here, the A changed to an Ä. Sie es hält. Sie halten, wir halten, ihr haltet, sie halten. Here are a few more Beispiele or examples of verbs that conjugate irregularly in the present tense. The verb lesen, to read. Ich lese, du liest. Sie es liest. Sie lesen, wir lesen, ihr lest, sie lesen. Fahren, to drive. Ich fahre, du fährst. Sie es fährt. Sie fahren, wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie fahren. Let's practice. Üben. Try to determine the irregular conjugation for the verbs sprechen, to speak, and waschen, to wash. Du, das Auto. Du wäschst das Auto. You wash the car. The A changed to the umlaut Ä. Du wäschst. Er spricht schnell. He speaks fast. The E changed to an I. And how about the example tragen, which can mean to wear? It can also mean to carry. But in this example, it means to wear. Sie trägt Jeans or sie tragt Jeans. The correct verb is sie trägt Jeans. The A changed to the umlaut Ä. And how about this example? The verb is helfen, which means to help. Er, ihr. He helps her. Er hilft or hilft. In this example, the E simply changes to an I. Hilft ihr. He helps her. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to use irregular verbs in German. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to comment, or if you're interested in joining one of our German courses with a live instructor, feel free to message us directly. Das war's, vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.